here and surprise her with our theme. So what we're going to do, CJ, is we're going to make you an overlay. And so it's going to say CJ's Wellness Report. We've got Wendy Arthur, our graphic artist, has graciously consented to make everybody an overlay. But in the meantime, I got music. So let's just use this one for now. And let me scroll all the way down to CJ's music. And away we go.
What is health? What does it take to stay healthy? We have a longer lifespan than 100 years ago, but is the quality of life any better? 100 years ago, their food was better. They got more exercise. They weren't as fat. They didn't have preservatives, antidepressants, sugar in everything, and they didn't have vaccines. If you talk about alternative healthcare, people think of crystals, incense, strange candles, Ouija boards, notions, potions, lotions, and total hippies telling you to detox, man. So let's change our system of sick care into wellness. Let's get healthy. Let's lower our stress, stop taking in poisons, eat and drink organic, clean food, and let's have a chat with CJ, because this is CJ's Wellness Watch on Action Radio.
Morning, darling. How you doing?
Good morning. Woo.
Isn't this fun? Look at all these buttons I get to push now.
I know.
Having a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is. First of all, I got to most publicly acknowledge that this would not be possible without CJ. CJ taught me how to do this, and we spent many rough drafts. I have 5 horrible shows that I've unfortunately ended up on the wrong channel. I actually ended up on the right channel. They're on my own personal one, which I have unlisted. I'll keep them around if I want to see where we all started. I might resurrect them. But we literally did 5 videos that
Yeah.
we saw. But because of those, because of you, because you're able to help me out, I've got all this cool stuff right now.
That's awesome. I'm pulling up your channel now so I can watch the chat because I love doing that. That's what I do on my show in the evening. So
now I got a delay on mine. I got about a 30-second delay.
Yep. That's the way mine is always at night too.
I guess everybody's is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I do. I check the chat while I'm doing it. But what I do is, and this time I took your advice and didn't touch it. It went live on its own.
Yeah.
And we got to the chat. So Marco's got us in the Netherlands. So we have our European connections there.
Awesome.
So Marco's got us. So that's good. Yeah. So I just got to go back and forth, and away we go. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So now I get to kick back. So I have a banner for you.
Oh wow.
And I want to make sure. Oh, I think I'm so organized. It's scary, right? So let me pull up my banners here, but I want to review it with you before I put it on screen. So CJ, so you're at the Angel Warrior Network, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And can I broadcast your email too?
Sure.
Okay, so just review H2O Wellness Network at gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Watch this. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just make sure.
So it's you want to put, because if you put Angel Warrior Network, you won't get it. It's the Angel Warrior Network.
Ooh, watch me fix this right now. So
You're good. You're good.
So it's the capitalized THE right there. So there we go. Let's go. The Angel Warrior Network. And
you're correct. All the words run together. Yep. The Angel Warrior Network on Rumble. Yep. H2O Wellness Network at gmail.com. You got it.
Isn't this great?
That's awesome.
So that's how I do it. I just make banners and away we go. So you can make your own banner but I'm having fun. The other thing I love about this is I get to kick back and sit back. I don't have to I'm not hunched around a microphone like I was. So my chair's causing me grief.
So you should see mine. I sent you the picture and I got the 2 puppies sitting behind me. So I have this big chair and you can see behind me, and I'm sitting literally on the edge of the chair because the 2 puppies are right like behind me and those
Well, listen, I figure this is like our kitchen table. We're just sitting around talking. And so people are free to call in. I've been sending out messages during the show. It's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want you to know I love you so much that I got my butt up early so that I can do an 8:30 show just for you, because it's my fault that I'm not able to be on at 10. I had something come up actually with my daughter. that I have to take care of at 9:30. So I'll be able to give you like a solid 45 minutes. But I didn't want to not come on and all those things. So
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And like I say, anytime you're busy or traveling or doing stuff, feel free. I mean, we have 14 reporters, but Thursday I could use another report. So if another wellness person wants to join us, or maybe I can combine I want to get like a wine and a beer combo, like half hour each or something like that.
Yeah, I can bring on some of my partners. We can talk about that later with some of the different things that I do, because it's nice to have this platform now. I was going back thinking about how we did it, because I was with you last holiday season. And so I was thinking about different topics as we're, in December coming into January. And some of it might be repetitory, some of it might not. You're probably going to get more people to listen and view you now. So it might be new information to some people.
We're going over a lot of things again. Yeah. And I don't mind doing that because the Rumble audience is new. And hopefully we'll have our meteoric growth period, and this will just go crazy. And so I'm trying new things. I listed us under Republican politics for the first time, see if that helps out. So I've been going over the different groups on Rumble, seeing where people are, and we'll find out.
What I'm going to do for you too. And I will probably do it sometime this week. I know I have a live podcast on my show on Thursday tonight, which is Thursday. And usually on Thursday nights, I do a Thankful Thirsty Thursday. So thankful, and so the girls.
How do you say that? Thankful Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
That's like I'm a mother pheasant plucker.
Oh boy.
Have you heard that one? Okay, so this was our college sobriety test. If you could say this all the way through, then you have to be drunk, because sober people can't make it the first time. But it was, I'm a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. A more pleasant mother pheasant plucker never plucked a mother pheasant.
I don't even want to try that on.
Exactly. See,
we're on Rumble, so it won't matter. But I don't want to offend anybody.
See, I can do it. It was practice anyway. That's your sobriety tongue twister. Anyway.
But what I'm going to do with this podcast is I will share it. Once it's recorded, I'll go back and share it on my platform.
Well, thank you.
So on the Angel Warrior Network, because I do that quite frequently with things that I want to play. So I will do that, because I have done and will continue to do sporadic Wellness Wednesday. So I do like CJ's Wellness Watch on a Wellness Wednesday, and I put those posts on Wednesdays on my channel. So what I'll do with some of these is, like this one, I will put it up on my channel to help you with your growth of your audience. So,
well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That would be wonderful.
Yeah,
so, absolutely. Let me scroll down here just a second. Hang on. Where this stuff's not alphabetical, so I got to find it. But this is for you. Give you a round of applause there. Yeah. So
that's good.
I got buttons. Not too crowded in the chat yet. Yeah, so feel free to send messages. If you have questions for CJ, post them right in the chat.
Because I'm watching the chat. I'm watching the chat on my phone over here.
Okay. Oh, you have the same chat? You can see the chat?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's because it's a Rumble chat. That's right. Okay, that's why you can see it. Okay, so I guess everybody can. All right. That makes sense. Gotcha. Okay.
Here.
So what's going on?
Well, hold on. Before we get started, I'll introduce you to the rest of my family.
We got puppies?
So say hi. So this is Lily, and she's 3.
Hi, Lily.
She's 3, and then this one. Come on, boo boo. Come on.
Are they twins?
And no, but they're close to the same breed. So this one just turned 3 months yesterday.
Okay. What kind of dog are they?
Well, she's a full purebred Maltese.
Okay.
And this one is a Morkie. So she's half Maltese and half Yorkie.
Morkie?
So, Morkie, half Maltese.
I guess that's better than a Yorkum.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is the baby. Her birthday is actually yesterday. So she was born September the 6th. So yesterday she was literally 3 months old. So,
Wow.
so I'll
Very
let her
cool.
sit with me. But anyway, yeah. So you should see me. I make them scrambled eggs. I make them all the things, and I go to this. Probably a lot of your viewers have this. I go to. It's called the Doggy Warehouse, and so all of their food in there is human grade food. Like if you just want to be lazy, because I do cook for the dogs a lot. Like I don't like to cook, but I'll cook for the dogs. I'll do them scrambled eggs. I'll do certain things. And but this warehouse, I buy. They have these Teddy Grahams for dogs. Some of them have like pumpkin flavor, real blueberries and everything. And I'll sit there and I'll eat a doggy treat and then I'll give them one. Then I'll eat a doggy treat and give them one because they're actually food grade, so they taste like Teddy Grahams.
Are they that good?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Human doggy treats?
They're amazing, and they're all they're
I
all.
believe you. I don't have a dog, so I don't eat human doggy treats. I eat human.
They're
treats.
all organic, all clean, all that. So anyway, that was a squirrel. So now you've met my other girls, and my human girl is upstairs sleeping still. So
that's funny. Yeah, we don't want to wake up the whole household with our antics here.
No, that's okay.
Really I'm a morning person, and I'm a night person. I'm just not an afternoon person.
Right.
So I'm up at 4. And trying to get sleeping like once instead of the twice that I normally do. Working on getting around that. But, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. So,
anyway,
but doggy health, we've never really talked about doggy health as opposed to person health. That a lot of times nutrition, what's good for us is kind of good for them.
Yep. There are some things, and many of your viewers know that dogs cannot have. But as long as you know that, there's, that's, unless your dog has an allergy, I don't give my dog grains, a lot of grainy food or anything like that. So I
don't think broccoli would go over well either.
What?
I don't think broccoli would go over well either.
No.
Unless you agree on
it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, so it's so nice because you can have visuals now. So I get a lot of clean recipes for fun for my daughter and I to pick and choose from what she wants to make. Right. So one of the ones that I found that we're going to do for the holidays it's a candy cane cookie. And there is an ingredient I want to share with everybody. So we all know about food dyes. Food dyes are really bad for you. Really bad for you. And so there is a brand.
I still see them in food though. So, I remember red dye number 2 was the carcinogen from way back when. So why do we still have food dyes? What's the purpose of food dyes?
Well, you have to remember we don't have the same regulations here as they do in the United Kingdom or anywhere else because that's just the way our government's trying to poison us. Bottom line. So that's why. That's the answer why. You go to the United Kingdom and you go get some M&Ms or a piece of candy. A lot of the candy and the treats over there are okay to eat compared to what they have here. They have more ingredients and more chemicals in the same product when you cross countries. So it's horrible. But
why are the British taking care of their folks better? Now I remember the British beef scandal when they had mad cow disease, Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease. That was a problem. But in terms of Europe, a lot of places in Europe will not allow things in their food that we allow here. And is that just big business lobbyists have basically bought the ability to put a bunch of crap in our food compared to other countries where they seem a little more concerned with their people? Or is it just that the business lobbyists aren't as strong in Europe?
I think it's a combination, honestly. Okay. I think it's a combination, and I think it goes way back generations, and the fact of what's crossing over as far as too the quality of the air and the soil and all those things too. As far as the quality of their food is so much better.
We've got great farmland. I used to live in the Bay Area, and we had just down south of us in Monterey, the Watsonville, like the strawberries, the lettuce, the avocados. It's one of the best growing areas of the world. Is around Monterey, California. You got the ocean currents, you got the soil, and then you got the whole middle of the state, where Devin Nunes is from, like Fresno and stuff, where they grow the raisins, the almonds, tons of other things. Soy, which is a problem. I don't like it. But California's got incredibly good. This is the best soil on the planet, I think.
Yes.
but they still take better care of their people in terms of not letting as many bad things into their food as we allow in here. And I really, like I say, it's I think the lobbyists here are just so much more powerful. They just buy their way in.
And you know, people make the statement that it costs more money to eat clean and organic, and you know, that is a true statement. And the reason why is they don't want to make well care and wellness cheap, because in that way most people are not going to invest in themselves and put the time, the money, the energy, the effort into seeking out and using it. They're going to go buy, and I do mean this word, the cheaper, less quality items, because that's what they can afford to feed their family. But you know, really, depending on what your personal situation is that really a true statement, right? Do you have cable? Do you have a cell phone? Do you have this? You know, do you go get your eyebrows done? Do you do this? I mean, I'm just putting it out there, right? Lots of times you can find ways to cut corners to put your resources where they're going to matter most. Right. And so that is a true statement. Most people will not go out and buy the most expensive grass-fed beef and have it shipped, you know, from Texas to their home. They're just going to go to the grocery store and trust what the label says, you know, which is wrong in my opinion. And I think I had mentioned, I know we're squirreling here a little bit, but I think I had mentioned that even though I don't partake, being a vegetarian, I do give my daughter chicken. I don't even think we have any beef. We never have beef in this house unless my son comes home. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying my household doesn't use it because I don't eat it. And that's just not a staple in our house. So I do chicken. Right. And so, but I order my chicken from a Patriot Farm where I know, now they can't do anything about the soils, right? But they know what they've put on the soils. They know what they're feeding their chickens. They know a lot about the majority of stuff that's going in. So I order it directly so I'm in North Carolina. So I order my chicken from Raleigh, North Carolina, from a farm there to, again, where they do 100% clean, organic chickens. They're patriots. They support all the things. And so I do have it shipped here. Most people aren't going to do that. Most people are going to go to Aldi's or wherever, and they're going to look for chicken or something that says hormone-free or pasteurized or whatever. And you really have to know the labels because they can slap a label on anything to tell you whatever they want. So I don't trust anything from a meat or poultry standpoint, even, you know, meat, poultry, fish, anything along those lines from a grocery store. I don't care if it's Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Aldi's, Walmart, Target. I will not buy anything in a store like that. But that's me, you know? And so I encourage people to do the same thing if they're willing to. You know, even
there's we've talked about this before too, that there's only so much you can do. You know, food's not perfect, we're not perfect, you know, there's stuff in there, but we have bodies that can adapt to most things. But if you can cut down on the pesticides, on the heavy metals, you know, all the extras, you know, all the chemicals, you know, I eat unprocessed food. You know, I don't get fried stuff. I don't, you know, and I used to have steak and bacon and things like that, but I've cut back on those. And you know, mostly it's fish, occasionally chicken, you know, fruits, vegetables, everything but carbs. You know, almost no carbs because I don't need them.
Right.
And I feel fine without them. Yeah. But here's the weird part. This is that I've had since my 20s, basically. Fruits, vegetables, meat, you know, eggs, fish, that kind of stuff. And when I had my heart surgery, one of the things they told me is my arteries are completely clear.
That's awesome.
Which is unusual because most people, I think most men especially, have plaque and have arteries that are clogging up with all kinds of stuff, and I don't.
That's amazing. That's
because
great.
I don't have a diet that has all the inflammatories. I don't have the sugar. I don't have the fried. I don't have the weird oils. I got rid of all the seed oils too.
Right.
And so, and I feel fine. It's not a big deal.
Exactly.
These choices are fairly simple. Yeah.
And you know, we're going all over the place here, but that's okay. So we're going into the sugars. So even like with your bread, like there's about 3 brands of bread that I know that don't have sugar in them and don't have all the junk in them. that I will buy in my house. Most people are familiar with Dave's brand, Dave's Bread. It's a brand name. But
Dave's,
Dave,
Daves.
yes. And he has several
Okay.
different kinds, and not all of them are clean. The one that's in fact, I just bought some the other day, and it was like $7, but not on sale. But it's in red, like red packaging letters, and it has 1 gram of sugar in it. And I actually have an app on my phone that I scan different foods to look for different fats, look for sugar content, look for carb content. What else?
But bread is a carbohydrate, so doesn't it break down to sugar anyway?
Depending on the type of carbohydrate, yes. Because remember we talked about carbs in a piece of bread versus carbs you're getting when you eat broccoli or cauliflower.
Okay.
It's your complex carbs versus your others. So, but it also searches for the bad oils. So you've got to be careful. If it says cane sugar, that's kind of, a lot of stuff says cane sugar, and we think cane sugar is good. A lot of our sugar should be coming from other sources. So,
well, what's with cane sugar? What's the disagreement there?
On the amount. The cane sugar is still not good as far as promoting sugar challenges in the body, or for people who currently have sugar challenges. You want to look for natural sugars. Like I just bought organic pineapple juice. It literally says pineapple juice. There's no added sugar.
That's the ingredient, pineapple juice, yeah. Okay.
Right. Organic, and I make my own too. Sometimes I'll buy a fresh pineapple. I'll take the skin and I'll put it in a boiling pot of water, and I'll make my own bromelain tea, which is really good from the skins. And I'll take the pineapple and throw it in my Vitamix blender and make my own pineapple juice. And then sometimes I'll even put cucumber in there and make cucumber pineapple juice, because all those things are very good.
In there.
So,
but if you make a pina colada drink.
Yeah, I have done that. I have done that too. So I'm just saying, I've done that too during the summer. I'm not beyond that. So, but you really have to look at the type, just like all oils aren't bad. We talked about the seed oils. All oils aren't bad. You have to know the type of oil, know the type of sugar, know the type of carbohydrates. And if you're not in the know, you need to educate yourself to get in the know, or you should have an app that you can scan and see, because most products that you buy that are processed should not have any more than four ingredients in them. When you're talking about peanut butter, it should say peanuts. I haven't recently because we just don't use it, but you can make all kinds of nut butter, seed butter, whatever in your blender at home if you have a decent blender. I've done that with my Vitamix. I take one ingredient
or whatever it is. Yeah.
One ingredient.
Don't they have salt in it? The natural peanut butters I've seen have peanut butter and salt.
Yeah.
Now there's salt and there's salt. There's pink Himalayan sea salt, as we all know, which matches your beautiful shirt. Or there is just regular sea salt. So,
right.
But if it's sea salt, it has to say. If it's sea salt, it has to say sea salt. It can't just say. If it says salt, you don't know what kind of salt it is.
Correct. And some of it will be unsalted. So now if I buy butters, and I have bought clean peanut butter from the store, if I'm just too lazy to make it, I'll keep it here, and it takes forever, to go through it. And I just make sure it says peanuts, because peanuts has their own oil. But peanuts everybody talks about peanuts as protein. It's really not. It's like 100% fat, unless you're buying PB Fit, which is the dehydrated peanuts, which I have sometimes.
I was wondering about peanuts, because the deluxe nuts, because I get a nut mixture without peanuts. I like them. They're oily. They don't taste good. They're they're like the filler, right?
Correct.
So can you make? So this would be really expensive, but it'd probably be pretty good. Make like a deluxe nut mix, butter.
I've done that.
Of almonds, cashews.
I've done that. Mm-hmm.
What else would be good? Almonds and cashews would be great right there. Almond cashew butter.
You have to be careful, because some of the cashews, and I just noticed this at the store, they still spray glyphosate and all that stuff on the nuts. So you got to be careful when you're buying nuts, because the nuts, there's a section in our grocery store. There's the regular nuts, and then you have like organic cashews, organic almonds, and there's one other one. I can't remember what it is. I've only seen 3 kinds. And because even if you go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, lots of times, they'll have those bins in the bulk section where you can put in a bag your stuff. And unless it says organic, you don't know if it's been sprayed with all kinds of stuff, almost like the oat mixes and the trail mixes and stuff. So you have to be, if you're being self-conscious about these types of things, I mean, some people could give a flying, you know what, right? So,
right.
But,
oh no,
but and it's a lot more costly. It is a lot more costly for me to go buy a bag of organic cashews that haven't had anything sprayed on them. At least that's what it says, right? What do we know, right? They can lie.
Yeah.
But,
hope for the best, right?
For a bag at $11, unless they're on sale for $9. So there's some things like that just are a treat in my house. They're not a necessity. They're not a staple in my home. So going back to the butters, you're much better off doing a seed butter versus a nut butter. So I keep in the house pumpkin seed butter, and it's a lot more nutritionally dense. Of course, all nuts have fat, but peanuts have no nutritional value other than fat. They really don't. They don't. I mean, you can look that up. You can slice it any way you want, but it's mostly oil and fat. So does it taste good every once in a while? Yeah, every once in a while, but
honey.
Yeah, exactly. But so you just have to be aware and weigh, okay, what's important to you and what's not important to you. What are you going to slack on and what are you not? What's a staple in your house and what's not? So when I was talking about the holiday food, most people know about McCormick's, right? Everybody knows McCormick spices, McCormick's dye colors when you dye eggs, McCormick's. I mean, that's just the brand name that's been a household name for a long, 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 long time. So when you're making holiday cookies, just like this recipe I have here for the candy cane cookies without dyes, right? One of the dyes that you can use it's called, a brand name is called Supernatural Food Color. And it has one ingredient.
I missed that because we're losing occasional words. So let's get that brand name again. Which one is it?
Supernatural Food Color.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
You can even put it in your chat or in your comment. Supernatural Food Color. And it's got, the red has one ingredient in it. It's beets. So that's what they use for the red is beets. So
that's okay.
So I have not looked for it yet. I am going to be looking for it before this weekend. And I don't know if it's going to be $2 a bottle or $10 a bottle. I don't know. I don't care because I'm going to use it for the holiday season and that's it. But it's nice, but it's nice to have those options. And I'm certainly not going to sit in the kitchen and squeeze my own beets, right? So if it's $10,
can you take beet juice from you get your beets in the store? They have jars of the stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of beets. They're sliced and diced. The sliced has high fructose corn syrup, and the diced does not.
Right.
Same
exactly.
Same, just two different ways of slicing it, but one has the high fructose corn syrup, and you can taste it. And I bought it by mistake one day. I went,
yep,
this is terrible.
So I'm going to go back to this recipe. So if you just go to your aisle and you buy Pillsbury Christmas cookies, or even I've seen Annie's, there's also Sweet Lawrence, and I did buy some Sweet Lawrence the other day. It's sweet, SWEET, and then Lawrence. I think it's spelled LOREN''. When they are on sale, I buy them during the holiday season because they're the lesser of the evils. I mean, they just are, and that's the treat for this season because we don't get them any other time of year. And but if you compare, so these cookies that I'm going to make, I'm just going to give you an example. So if you just go buy Pillsbury cookies, which most people do, they don't buy the Annie's or the Sweet Lawrence, or they don't even know about them. So you're going to have enriched flour, which is bleached. That has niacin, thiamine, riboflavin, folic acid, tons of sugar, tons of palm oil, canola oil, eggs, baking powder. You're going to have baking soda, phosphate, artificial colors, yellow 5 and 6, blue 1, red 40, and sodium bentonate.
That's embalming fluid.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And a lot of people will say, just like I did, with the healthier options is, well, it's only once a year. I'm only going to put those ingredients in my body once a year. However, I would say if you're only going to put it in your body once a year, why not spend $4 more on some healthier, cleaner alternatives? I mean, that would be the question.
It makes sense.
I don't have the answers.
It becomes the priorities, and it's interesting. And it's like I remember this argument that I used to have in California that we have to have migrant workers picking lettuce because Americans won't pay $1.50 more per head of lettuce.
Right.
Well, yeah, they will. I'd rather pay for legal American workers than a bunch of imported foreign workers.
Right.
I'd rather pay for cleaner food than mass-produced food that's been genetically engineered.
Absolutely.
And so it's not the cheapest food that's the best; it's the best food that's the best. And there are choices like anything else. But we make choices like that all the time. You get the house that you can afford, you get the car that you can afford. If you can afford a $200,000 Lamborghini,
right,
then that's within your means.
Right.
If you have to drive a Yugo, then
Exactly.
but food, people think that somehow it's almost like an entitlement for food, that you're entitled to cheap food. You're not. You've got to search out the best stuff. You got to do the research. It's your body.
Exactly.
If you want to, well, here's an example. Norman Lear just passed away. He was 101. Okay. So how did he do that? Did he do that living on junk food and stress and being overweight? I don't think so.
Right.
The guy had a fabulous attitude. He laughed all the time. And, of course, we all pass away eventually, but 101? That's not bad.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting. Yeah.
So I want to go over this, and I have one more topic I wanted to cover and hit on today, and we can go back and cover it next week. But so these cookies that I plan on making, and the first ingredient, remember, in the Pillsbury was enriched flour that is bleached, that has all these other ingredients in it, right? The niacin, the monotrate, the riboflavin. Okay, so this one, I'm going to use organic spelt flour. Now, just let me read. And we talked about cane sugar, how cane sugar is natural, but you have to watch the amount of cane sugar, right? And you don't want it necessarily added when you already have sweet from your pineapple juice, from other things. And if you go into your middle of the grocery store, which I always tell people technically to avoid, but if you go in and buy glass jarred organic, I don't know, cranberry juice, something or other, there's a lot of those juices in there that do have added cane sugar. So when I buy my pineapple juice, I make sure it just says organic pineapple juice if I'm too lazy to buy the pineapple and make it at home, right? Which I normally do make my own. I really do. But so these are the ingredients versus the Pillsbury's. I'm going to use organic spelt flour. I am going to use, I think for the whole recipe, I'm trying to see where it is. Hold on. I want to tell you because this is important. It's 3/4. Now these are going to make about 15 cookies. So there's going to be 3/4 a cup of cane sugar. 3/4 of a cup, not 10 cups. 3/4 of a cup of cane sugar. Organic grass-fed butter, which I have in my home anyway. Organic egg substitute or organic eggs. Organic milk, which I will probably use an almond milk or a coconut milk because we don't do milk, period. Okay.
Do you ever do, so you don't have, how about like even raw milk, which I've heard about, the unpasteurized stuff? Is that,
that is
good?
What do you think about that? That is good, but the thought of it makes me want to throw up, so I really don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Moving on.
Just remember it's
cherry.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, and then
this will be CJ's unwellness report.
Organic vanilla extract, organic baking powder, organic sea salt, and then the supernatural red food coloring that comes from Pete's. So you've got so many great clean ingredients in here. And again, for a vegan, like for us, the milk I'll switch out. The grass-fed butter, I use a different butter, Mykos, I can't even spell it, Mykos or something. So, but I don't know, I might use the grass-fed butter in here. But these are such clean ingredients for these compared to what you that wasn't good English. You can more conveniently go and purchase for half the price Pillsbury or you know what I mean? So just some things to look, when you're having those treats, your treats can be healthy treats during the holidays. You don't have to necessarily say, oh, it's one time a year, I'm just going to sabotage and I'm going to jack my blood sugar up and I'm going to feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you can if you want to. That's on you. But it's just like with Thanksgiving. Remember, I told you we didn't have turkey, but nobody in my house is a turkey fan, and I know it's tradition and all that. And to each their own. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm like, I don't want to feel like crap afterwards and have those tryptophans in my family, and then they just like, oh, I'm tired. I just feel like, So we felt amazing. We ate good, and it's kind of the same. So to each their own. And then we had discussed this last year in regards to alcohol. So I'm just going to go through and read my notes here that I have, because I plan on going to the Total Wine store this weekend and making sure I get some things that I would like to have here in my home. But so beer, we know that they spray weed killer and Roundup, and there's weed killer and Roundup in beer because a lot of it is from the fermented greens, wheat, barley. They have glyphosate in them. So you want to look, they do have organic beers. Now, I'm not a beer drinker, so I haven't looked into that. Do you drink beer or any alcohol at all?
Yeah, but it's usually from a craft brewery or very natural, locally brewed stuff. So I don't think, I think it's probably a lot better than the chemical beers. Like the Budweisers and Millers, the big brewery.
Yeah.
It's going to be with this. But if you get German beer, for example, they're very strict on quality. It's only 4 ingredients allowed in. Water, malt, barley, and hops, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty strict on that. In fact, we got Marco. We should get Marco's opinion on Dutch beer. I imagine the same strictness applies to Dutch beers like Amstels and Heinekens and things like that. I think they're pretty strict. Whereas here, again, the companies have a lot more leeway to put junk in. But I think that's why craft breweries, just like we have organic foods, have grown up very quickly because people want pure food. They don't want all the junk in it. The pesticides, the glyphosate. How do you pronounce that word?
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate. Thank you. Yeah, I'll work on that. But I think people like a craft brewery because you can go talk to the brewer. They're like, "What do you put in there? You got a bunch of pesticides? No. So you can. Just like it's nice to talk to a farmer at a farmer's market about how they do their farming. In a craft brewery, you actually have to talk to the brewer. Now, what do you put in this?
Yeah, well, no, even those beers, though.
More control. What's that?
Even those beers, though, if it's got wheat and barley in it, you got to remember that's what they spray the glyphosate on.
So now, is it sprayed on the outside husk of the plant? Is it sprayed and how is it absorbed into the internal part? I mean, the wheat germ, the wheat kernel. What do these pesticides do? How do they get in?
Well, they are absorbed. They are absorbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't wash them off. That's not going to work.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I was looking at the chat here. So you just have to remember that. So it's better to get an organic beer. Obviously, what you said as far as less ingredients is better, but that's the deal with beer. And then when you come to wine, if anybody wants to take note of this, I have to go back and look at Dry Farm is what I'm going to look for when I go to the wine store. It is a clean wine. There's another one called Cameron. I want to say Cameron Dietz or something. I've got to look it up because I have to do this before I go to get some wine for my home this weekend. But wine, when you go buy wine, just like at Total Wine or any place, it's not just the grapes. that they put in there. Most of the time in the wine process, there's over 70 chemicals that are actually added. And there's a lot of sulfates that are added to the wine. Sometimes they put stuff in to make it look a lot more red. On the same concept, I'm not comparing, but same concept as like salmon. You look at a piece of salmon, you're like, oh, that's so pink, that's so this. And they put dyes in that too. So when you're looking for wine,
in the wild cod or in the farm fish? Because I know with the farm salmon, I don't eat farm salmon because they use carrots to make them look orange. Whereas the wild salmon is eating shrimp and krill and fish and things like that. That color comes naturally from their food.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
But not the farm salmon. The farm salmon are given colored pellets, carrot pellets, things like that. So, and they have much more fat. I guess the farm salmon have much wider white stripe because it's all fat compared to the wild fish. So you're safer with the wild fish.
Yep, exactly. True statement. So most of the time when you and I love going to wine tastings just because, right? So that's my cheat, and it probably has a lot of crap in it. But I love going to wine tastings. But if you're going to buy a bottle of wine, you have to remember, again, most of the time they've got 70 chemicals or more in them. They've got sulfites. They've added 20 to 25 grams of additional sugar into the wine. So you want to look for a natural wine. And there's very few brands out there that are natural. And again, the one that I'm aware of is called Dry Farm. And that's what I'm going to look for because I've just recently learned of that one. There's a handful of others that you can look at out there. But it's important to know the process with the grapes and if they've been sprayed. So you always want to look for a natural, organic wine. And there's quite a few out there, red, whites, all the things. So that's
where do you find them? Do you get them in the regular stores or where are they?
Yeah, you can get, in fact, Whole Foods has a section of organic natural wines. Total Wine has a lot of selection of organic wines, but you got to read the label. You got to ask questions. And then Trader Joe's. Now, if you just go to, say, your Publix, I don't know what everybody has, a Piggly Wiggly, a Publix, a Harris Teeter.
I haven't been. I want to go just because I want to say I went to a Piggly Wiggly.
I know. Well, I'm just pulling out names, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, Kroger, Harris Teeter, those sort of places. I mean, mine here, I have a Harris Teeter and a Publix. They don't carry organic natural wines.
Right.
Now, I want to be clear. That doesn't mean it's not good wine. I'm saying it's not clean wine. I go out to a restaurant and order wine.
Sulfites, right? I had a question. That sulfites are actually added to the wine, right?
They are. They are.
Those are like why are they there? What's a sulfite do? And then I got a Marco question for you.
Yeah, the sulfites do two things. They enhance the flavor and they enhance the effect of the wine. So if I go out to dinner or I'm going out to a winery or something, and I order a glass of wine that's not clean, right? And I love some wines that aren't clean. I should have brought them in here. They're in my kitchen. I'll show them next week. I think I've talked about this. I buy these little sticks, and they look like tea bags on a plastic stick. And you put them in your wine, and they absorb all the sulfates out of your wine, so you don't get that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't get that hangover headache. You don't get a headache. It causes a lot of headaches if you're sensitive to sulfites, but you'll still get the effects of the alcohol. You'll still get to enjoy the taste of the wine, but it looks like a little stirrer. It's just a little plastic handle about that long, and on the end of
it. That's like
you stir it around.
Yeah, it's like MSG in Chinese food.
Yeah. All right, you said you had a question.
I do. I want to get to it before you go. Marco asks. We were talking about Heineken earlier. As natural product. And he says he wants to ban. He says, "Have you seen the Heineken commercial during the pandemic? Ban Heineken." And he's got a YouTube, which I'll watch after the show. And then he says, "The night belongs to the vaccinated. Time to join them." That's disgusting. That's what Heineken is promoting. The night belongs to the vaccinated.
Wow.
Oh, please.
Right.
Well, here's the question, though. If a company is so blatantly pushing the COVID jab, which we all know from, years of evidence not only doesn't work, is dangerous and fatal in many cases. If a company is willing to put that kind of propaganda out there, can you trust their products? Do you see a correlation? It's probably a question for next time. Do you see a correlation between companies that are pushing COVID shots and companies that don't use organics, that are much more willing to use chemicals or pesticides in their products? Is there any correlation that you've seen? And this might take some thinking and research.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I haven't dwelled on that topic because I don't drink beer, but it's just like the same thing, with anything that we've seen with the beer commercials pushing transgender stuff, right? So it's anything that goes against the norm, or anything that goes against non-woke agenda, or anything that goes against health, like they push. You don't see commercials on TV. Make sure you get all your organic vegetables today. Make sure to eat salads. Make sure to grab your organic apple a day, keeps the doctor away, sort of thing. You don't see anything like that. So,
we were talking last night. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said it's the same concept.
Yeah. I made a big video last night on my Facebook page with Larry Downs Jr. and we were talking about the vaccine. I forget what it's called. The program to pay people, the vaccine compensation program. And one of the requirements of the law is that they make reasonable efforts to tell people of this, vaccine compensation program. And what we notice is that with all these COVID ads, the COVID jab ads, not once do they ever do what most places do, which is have the disclaimers. They don't have, they said the vaccine is safe and effective. Then they say, well, it may not be safe and effective, or if you're injured, or if there's injury or death as a result of the vaccine, call the vaccine compensation program. There's nothing on these jab ads like there is for anything. You look at any other product on the market, it has they have the quick monotone voice giving away all the exceptions, all the disclaimers, all the warnings and things like that.
Well, even when you see the drug ads,
yeah, those are the ones I mean.
It may cause. Do not take this if you're susceptible to blah, 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 blah. They have this whole dissertation.
Yep.
But when it comes to this particular product or choice, they don't say jack about it.
So we know they're exempt from liability, but are they also exempt from disclaimers? I mean, I never really thought about it till last night when we were looking about the fact that they're supposed to promote the program of vaccine compensation if you're injured or die. But there's no warnings on these things. They never come out and say, this may cause myocarditis, stroke, death, blood clots, infertility, miscarriage. They never say all those things that they say for literally every other product.
Correct. Well, you know what they're not exempt from? They're not exempt from the wrath of God. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah. And they're not exempt from fraud.
Right.
They're not exempt from misrepresentation. They may be exempt from liability, but they're still the Federal Trade Commission. And it's just, it's such a protected market. Anyway, I know you got to go. But yeah, this is fabulous. Well, let's do the shameless plugs. Tell me all about your main show when you're not here.
Okay. So you can find my evening podcast, which I usually do 2 or 3 times a week. It's a variety of topics. You can find me on Rumble at the Angel Warrior Network. If you have any wellness questions, supplementation wise, anything, you can email me at that email, h2owellnessnetwork@gmail.com. And I'm not taking any new clients on until the third week in January. So if anybody wants a free 15-minute consultation with me, they can send me an email there as well. My plate is full, and I have, for the 3rd week of January, I have quite a few people already lined up. So I'm starting to take a waiting list. So like I said, give me a shout, even if you just want to chat or get my suggestions, and I'd be happy to get back to you. And I will definitely see you next week.
Sounds good. And let me know, teach me how to share your show. Because if you're going to share my show, at least I can do is share your show. So
yeah. Like I said, I'll be live tonight with my other angels. We do a Thankful Thirsty Thursday.
What time?
It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So okay. I probably will be having a clean cocktail. I usually do that on Thursdays.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
You get sloshed on the air? I mean, I'm curious.
Tune in.
Does this include adult beverage material, as Rush Limbaugh says? Is there alcohol in your cocktail?
Yeah, there is. We do. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. We'll have a glass of wine. And Thursdays, and that's why it's called Thankful Thirsty Thursdays. Usually we have fun on Thursdays. We'll bring up some, like we usually do, a movie mention, something that has to do with conspiracy theories, things like that, to set people up, get ideas on what to watch for the weekend. So it's just, Thursdays are normally a fun podcast, since throughout the week it's usually a bit of heavier information. And then sometimes I'll probably launch your show sometime this weekend on my channel, so people have things to watch on my show if they want to tune in over the weekend. So, but tune in, check it out. Like I said, just because you don't like one night doesn't mean you might not like a guest the next night. Just like I had the debate on about the flat earth versus the round earth. I have pastors on.
Oh, I got to hear about that, because I have a friend that takes it so seriously that the earth is really flat. It's not round. I'm like, it's so easy to prove the earth is round.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
post
simple.
it all. We do a lot of different things. And I always, yeah, you should. And I put on a disclaimer. Just because I show certain things on my show doesn't mean the angels agree or disagree with who I bring on. Right. Because I like to have on all the topics and let people make their own decisions. So come check it out. If you don't want to see the funny angels and craziness, don't tune in tonight. If you want to see more serious podcasts, go through, check it out. And typically we do Mondays and Thursdays. And I know I've got a couple interviews coming up next week. So check it out. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, CJ. You take care.
All right. Bye. Have a great day.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So I'm going to go over a couple things here, and then I'm going to get actually John. I'll probably bring him on the show a little bit as well. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. Where's one? Take that one. Where's my CJ? Oh, so now we're back to me. Okay, so that one kind of that worked out well. So what I want to do is John DeMonico's, on live chat. I'll see if let me just check and see if anybody else is there. I've got a bunch of articles I want to go over, and haven't had a chance to really do some of these. So John says Pearl Harbor anniversary. Yeah,